Okay, I'm Marissa and I'm doing my persuasive speech, and with me I have my friend Jackie, my friend Andy, and my boyfriend Michael. Okay. Imagine waking up one morning and finding your neighborhood underwater, the skies filled with thick smoke, or such scorching heat that it's unbearable to go outside. Unfortunately, this is already a reality for millions of people around the world. Hurricanes, heat waves, droughts, and wildfires are becoming more intense, wreaking havoc on communities. The health, economic, and environmental impacts of these natural disasters have set off international alarms that we're in a crisis. Climate change is not a future problem. It is here and actively creating a less livable world for all of us. Today, we'll take a look at the climate change problem, its causes, and its solutions. As stated in a NASA News article on January 10th, 2025, the year 2024 was the hottest year on record. Temperatures will only continue to rise unless we address the underlying drivers of climate change and take meaningful steps to fight it. Some of the most pressing impacts of climate change include extreme weather, rising sea levels, and ecosystem collapse. According to a New York Times article published on July 2nd, 2026, as humans continue adding greenhouse gases to the atmosphere by burning fossil fuels, record-breaking heat will become more common, as will extreme weather events like droughts, wildfires, and floods. The article states that 11 of the Earth's warmest years ever recorded have been within the past 11 years. Because of these increasing temperatures, heat waves globally are becoming hotter, more common, and longer lasting. The longer these heat waves last, the more exposure people have to life-threatening temperatures. Extreme weather conditions are further compounded by sea level rise in coastal areas. In a Nature article published on October 9th, 2023, small island developing states, SIDS, have long been recognized as some of the planet's most vulnerable areas to climate change, notably to rising sea levels and coastal extremes. SIDS refers to a collection of countries in the Caribbean Sea, East Atlantic, and Pacific and Indian Oceans that are inhabited by roughly 70 million people. Sea level rise poses outstanding risks to these areas due to the necessary coastal infrastructure that is at risk of flooding. Additionally, there are economic, technological, social, and ecological obstacles to adaptation that further make these island states vulnerable. In addition to the risks of flooding, coastal areas are also seeing severe ecosystem collapse. In an IOP Science Journal article published on January 7, 2025, the researchers state that key climate-related stressors including warming, sea level rise, ocean acidification, changes to freshwater availability, and shifts in circulation and disturbance patterns pose significant threats to both the structure and function of the ecosystems. Climate change has already caused ecosystem degradation and reduced biodiversity in coastal areas, and this is only expected to intensify. Stable ecosystems function to provide services that benefit humans. For example, providing harvestable products and regulating climate. Climate-related stressors, in combination with human activities like pollution and development, threaten to cause ecosystem instability and overwhelm coastal ecosystems. These impacts of climate change pose an existential threat on human life. To understand how these problems came to be, let's take a look at what caused them. Climate change is driven by increased levels of carbon dioxide, methane, and other greenhouse gases in Earth's atmosphere, which trap heat, leading to rising temperatures. Three major contributors of emissions include the burning of fossil fuels, deforestation, and agriculture. In a BBC article published on January 14, 2026, they state that climate change has been, without a doubt, caused by human activities. In particular, the widespread use of fossil fuels, coal, oil, and gas, in homes, factories, and transport systems. Burning fossil fuels releases greenhouse gases, primarily carbon dioxide, which traps heat in the atmosphere, causing warmer temperatures on Earth's surface. Scientists identify the start of the Industrial Revolution as the major catalyst for the large-scale burning of fossil fuels. Since then, CO2 levels in the atmosphere have risen by more than 50%. Deforestation is another major contributor of CO2 in the atmosphere. In an article published on November 1st, 2021 in The Guardian, they state, As the second largest source of greenhouse gases after energy, the land sector accounts for 25% of global emissions, with deforestation and forest degradation contributing to half of this. Forests store an immense amount of carbon that helps to regulate the Earth's climate. Additionally, they have not only been shown to store carbon, but also to absorb carbon from the atmosphere, acting as a carbon sink. So when we deforest, the consequences are twofold. First of all, the carbon stored in the forest is released into the atmosphere. And second, we eliminate a natural system that absorbs carbon from our atmosphere. In addition to the land sector, agriculture plays a significant role in emissions as well. According to a New York Times article published on June 12, 2023, agriculture is responsible for 1/10 of U.S. greenhouse gas emissions, chiefly methane from the digestive system of animals, as well as nitrous oxide, another powerful greenhouse gas from lavish use of synthetic fertilizer. More than half of the contiguous United States is dedicated to agricultural production, a staggering roughly 900 million acres. Researchers believe the impact of agriculture on climate change is likely even underestimated. When you consider the additional emissions from the burning of fossil fuels in farming equipment and the release of carbon stored in soil when existing vegetation is replaced with crops, the carbon footprint increases. Greenhouse gas emissions from these sources are massive drivers of climate change. Now that we understand what's causing climate change, let's take a look at solutions. Fighting climate change can feel overwhelming, but there are tangible steps you can take on an individual, local, and state level to make a difference. Rewiring America, a nonprofit organization focused on transitioning American households to an all-electric future, says on their website, last accessed on July 8, 2026, that going electric is all about replacing appliances that use fossil fuels with electric ones. You'll save money and create a healthier home. The company offers a range of guides and planners to simplify the process of going electric and help you understand the true costs and savings of your projects before you start them. Installing a heat pump or upgrading to an electric stove are two of the top household recommendations. They also provide suggestions for renters, including swapping your gas vehicle for an electric vehicle and leveraging community solar programs. There are also no-cost ways to help fight climate change and make an impact in your local community. Grassroots climate organization San Diego 350 writes on their volunteer page, "Whatever your skills, interests, age, time availability, we need you. We believe that every person has the ability to contribute in a meaningful way to the climate movement." The organization offers several different ways to volunteer. They offer 15 specific teams across policy, community, democracy and resistance, youth, and campaigns, so everyone can work on projects that they feel strongest about. Volunteering with San Diego 350 offers you the opportunity to educate your neighbors, advocate for public policy, and mobilize with your larger community to take action. In addition to volunteering your time, you can also make a difference with your voice. In a news release published on California Senator Josh Becker's website on March 24th, 2026, it states, "Today, Senator Josh Becker announced legislation to expand the use of local clean power to reduce costs and increase grid reliability. The specific bill, SB 913, aims to modernize California's energy system. It would enable distributed clean energy resources, including home batteries, electric vehicles, and smart thermostats, to contribute towards a stable, dependable energy grid. To ensure this bill gets passed, you can reach out to your California state representative asking them to support this bill." Each of these solutions offers you an opportunity to join the fight against climate change using your time, voice, or financial resources. Our planet is warming at an alarming rate, and human life as we know it is at risk if we do not act now. Today, we've seen the impacts of climate change, gained an understanding of its causes, and highlighted opportunities to be part of the solution. The last decade has seen the highest recorded global temperatures in recent history. Temperatures will only continue to rise unless we come together to take meaningful steps to fight climate change. Although the image of flooded streets, smoke-filled skies, and scorching heat is already a reality for many people, it's also a preview for the rest of us of what is to come if we don't take meaningful action. So today, I will leave you with this question. Will you do your part to protect the one planet that we call home? Or will you stand by as climate change transforms the world as we know it?